Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Berkeley County Board of Education meeting this Tuesday, February 28th, 2017. I call this meeting to order, and I declare a quorum is present and the media has been notified. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion to approve the agenda and a second. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The agenda is approved. I'd now like to invite Boy Scout Troop 789 up to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll now observe a moment of silence. Thank you so much. We'll now move on to agenda item 1D, the approval of minutes for the regular meeting on February 14th, 2017. Is there a motion?
Make the motion.
There's a motion by Mr. Ramsey. Is there a second?
A second.
There's a motion by Mr. Ramsey, a second by Ms. Condor to approve the minutes of the regular meeting on February 14th, 2017. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The minutes are approved. We'll now move on to agenda item 2A, the Head Start Budget Expenditure Report for November 2016, the Head Start Credit Card Report for November 2016, and the prospective new hires.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the Head Start Budget Expenditure Report for November 2016, Head Start Credit Card Report for November 2016, and prospective new hires.
Second.
There's a motion by Ms. Lee, a second by Reverend Spann. Is there any discussion? And this was missed in the previous meeting, so it's a catch-up so that we have two tonight. The first one's November, the second one is January. All right, all in favor of approval of the Head Start Budget Expenditure Report, the Head Start Credit Card Report for November 2016, and the prospective new hires, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. We'll now move on to agenda item 2B, the Head Start Budget Expenditure Report for January 2017, the Head Start Credit Card Report for January 2017, and the 2017-2018 refunding application. Is there a motion?
Madam Chairwoman, I make the motion to approve the Head Start Budget Expenditures Report for January 2017, Head Start Credit Card Report for January 2017, and the 2017 and 2018 refunding application.
Is there a second? Second. There's a motion by Mr. Ramsey, a second by Mr. McQuillan. Is there any discussion? All in favor of approving the Head Start Budget Expenditure Report for January 2017, the Head Start Credit Card Report for January 2017, and the 17-18 refunding application, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. We'll now move on to agenda item 3, which is our Legacy Builders and Special Recognition. Dr. Porter.
Thank you, Madam Chair, board members, Superintendent Blackburn, assembled guests, and employees. We all remember that actor in those Verizon commercials wearing the gray jacket and those horn-rimmed glasses asking that famous question, "Can you hear me now?" We all remember that. Turns out that hearing is pretty important in public education, and Berkeley County is very fortunate to have some consummate professionals helping students overcome these auditory barriers every day. We also, at this time, will be spotlighting one of our own who've been recognized with a very impressive statewide honor. To introduce us, please welcome to the podium our Executive Director of Special Services, the one, the only, Dr. Kelly Wolf.
Chair Wofford, Superintendent Blackburn, and board members, it is of great honor to recognize Heidi Clower, who is our Audiologist of the Year. She was awarded the Elizabeth P. Wade Memorial Award in January at the annual convention for audiologist. She was actually nominated for the award by Meredith Halcomb, who is the director of audiology down at MUSC. So the fact that she was nominated by a community member for the award in and of itself is very prestigious. Ms. Halcomb stated, Heidi is amazing. She works tirelessly to help students receive appropriate services for hearing loss. She fights the good fight day in and day out to ensure children have appropriate access to sound in the academic setting. She devotes her spare time, whatever that may be, to advocacy efforts for children with hearing loss. She recently organized the first deaf awareness meeting in the area, and it was a huge success. It was actually hosted at Cane Bay High School. She has served on the A.G. Bell board for the past several years and has passionately worked to involve more families with the organization. Our state needs more dedicated individuals like her. She is a huge asset to the state, to her students, and to her colleagues. It is a pleasure to work with her. I can tell you that I am very honored to have her on the staff, and I feel honored to work for her. Heidi?
Well, I'd just like to say thank you, and thanks to my husband for coming to videotape it so my children believe me. It is an honor to work for Berkeley County. We have great staff. We have great support. I have great support through special ed, and I'm looking forward to many more years of helping our hearing impaired kids in the county.
Congratulations, Heidi. Thank you so much for coming. If you attended to just see the special recognition, now is a great time for you to go home and do other more fun things than board meetings. If you would like to stay, we're going to move on to our citizen comments. First up to speak is Ms. Linda Riney, and she wishes to speak in support of the school board. Ms. Riney, you're up first. I didn't read the rules. There's rules, you know. I didn't read the rules. You know the rules?
She is the reason for the rules.
I will say, you may be the reason for the rules. I'm going to go through the rules. That was a joke. Miss Linda loves me. I am going to go through the rules for procedure purpose because that's appropriate. In order to conduct the meeting in an orderly and efficient manner, we ask that you honor the following guidelines, not rules. Stakeholder comments are welcomed and encouraged. However, the board will not take immediate action on public comment at this meeting. Any person wishing to address the board must register prior to the meeting. Comments must be regarding programs, policies, or procedures. Comments regarding complaints against employees or other than district-level executives or references to students other than the child of the speaker will not be heard in public session. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes per speaker, and the board has set aside a total of 30 minutes for public comment. The board chair reserves the right to allot additional time or halt public comment that do not adhere to the guidelines. So sorry. Thank you, Ms. Linda, for coming.
And good evening. My comments, they're really nothing that some of you don't already know. For years before last November, a lot of people in Berkeley County were not really satisfied with a lot of the policies and procedures and practices of the school board, the way they were leading the district. There were 2 members on the school board that took kind of a common sense attitude toward some of the situations the school district found itself in, but they were outvoted. So last year, a lot of us got together and we found people who were people of integrity, people who were honest, and people who had common sense. And thank goodness, our efforts at the ballot box were successful, and we gave our 2 members some backup on the school board. Now, since the changeover in the makeup of the school board, there's been some criticism of the school board using common sense and doing things the right way. And I know that must be very difficult for y'all to sit there when there are people standing here ripping you apart for doing the right thing. And I'm here tonight to tell you there are a lot of people who think you're doing a great job. And so far as all the criticism about your legal counsel, you did exactly what people like myself would do. You went out and looked for a firm manned by people just like yourself, professionals with integrity, people who are honest, and people who had expertise. And I'm just getting a little tired of people standing at this microphone criticizing you for doing exactly what you were elected to do. And that is the right thing and the honest thing and a thing that reflects integrity. And I just want to tell you how very much I appreciate y'all and what a wonderful job you're doing. Thank you very much.
Up next, we'd like to invite Mr. Terry Hardesty up to speak about board criticism.
Good evening. I think the rules are a direct result of me. Chairwoman Wofford, members of the board, Ms. Blackburn. I've attended at least 200 board meetings, and about half of them as a board member. So I believe I have some perspective about how a board is operating. For several meetings now, someone has been severely critical of this board and implied your motives are either tainted with political donations from the Berkeley County Republican Party, or you have some other dubious motive or conflict of interest. She also called for facts, so here are a few. I'm here against the wishes of Josh Whitley. Republicans care about education. The funds donated to the current board members were largely from the settlement, in my case, against a former chairman for stopping me from speaking about corruption in this very room. I directed my attorney at the time, Mr. Josh Whitley, to donate the funds to the Berkeley County Republican Party with the express purpose of helping fund conservative candidates for Berkeley County School Board. The donation was handled in a legal and ethical manner in every way. Isn't it hypocritical for the head of the political group called the Progressive League to be before this board complaining of partisan participation by Republicans in an election? As a Republican, I have not expected nor would I ever ask any board member for anything other than their absolute best effort to guide and improve the education system in Berkeley County. In fact, I sleep better knowing good, honest people are on this board doing their best for Berkeley students. You would think that someone who taught in this district for over 30 years would be proud of someone like a Josh Whitley or Sally Wofford, who went to Berkeley County schools, graduated from Berkeley High School, then graduated with honors from Wofford, and was second in his class at William & Mary. Went on and clerked for a prominent and revered federal judge, and then came back to Berkeley County to start his law career. He has since, along with his wife Coles, established a scholarship fund at Wofford, expressly favored for a Berkeley High student graduating, or an Ashley Hall student if that student's not available, because Coles was an alma mater is Ashley Hall. I do not know the motivations behind the criticism, but I find it obnoxious, as I personally know of no one with more ethics than Josh Whitley. I would go so far as to say I would trust him with my life. I also know Ms. Simmons is named in a SLED report that's the subject of a FOIA. The report states a Berkeley County School District employee recalled a lunch meeting at EVO Pizzeria where she met with Chris Kovach, that's Amy's husband, who's also an attorney, a former board member, Doug Cooper, and Angie Simmons, along with others, and the topic of the discussion was Josh Whitley and his mother.
Mr. Hardesty, if you could wrap up your comments.
All I can say is draw your own conclusions. I got one more short paragraph. Okay. As far as this board and its decisions since the election, I have to say, well done indeed. I called for the change in the legal counsel when I was on this board in 2009 and 10, along with the auditing firm. And as far as hiring counsel experienced in school law, the previous firm was the most experienced in the state and cost this school district millions of dollars that should have been spent on educating students. I especially have to commend Madam Chair Wofford for her principled stand on ethical issues both before and after the election. I don't think the board could have elected a better person or more qualified person for chair. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Up next, we'll entertain Mr. Bill Healy, and he would like to talk about the referendum spending reports and the cafeteria.
Terry, I'm going to disagree. I think it was also written for me, too. Madam Chair, board members, superintendent, administration, teachers, staff, taxpayers. I have two items to discuss with you today. The first is student cafeterias within this school district. I've been given the outstanding opportunity to do both lunch buddies and duty-free lunch within Hanahan. However, I am upset with the waste of food that happens while I'm there. I understand you are under guidelines, but this must stop. I watch tray after tray of food being thrown away by our students. I've asked some of the kids why and get mixed reactions as to the quality. But to be fair, some kids say they like it, and some kids say they don't. I think the cafeteria staff does a great job, but are we listening to what the kids want? One thing that gets me really upset is that I see new, uneaten fruit just thrown into the garbage while we have citizens of Berkeley County that go without. I understand these are rules and regulations that are forced upon us, but we citizens of this great county have to think out of the box and do better. My mother taught me that you can lead a horse to water, but can't make them drink it. I guess this also applies to food. We can place it on their trays, but can't make them eat it. One example of a solution right off the top would be for cafeteria workers to place each fruit in a plastic bag. And if the student doesn't want it, place it in a box for redistribution. Simple but effective. Let's work together to solve this one. I will be at your disposal to discuss further. Another possibility is to take our students that are in our hospitality programs here in Berkeley County and have them work with your dietary staff to come up with the right solutions. This allows you to put into action the great instruction they are getting from their teachers. Win-win for the team. Again, I want to stress to the board that a lot of this challenge was outside your control, but together we can fix it. Now for the bigger issue. I want to first thank you all for your service and look forward to making our education system the best in the country. However, where is the transparency and honesty that the taxpayers of Berkeley County not only deserve, but also demand? Yes, the word is demand, and we can see that from our last vote. Now, to be fair, this is not about just what happened with our CFO. In fact, I planned on bringing this issue to you prior to that. And I do want to applaud and commend you on the swift action you took and hope that further internal investigations will result in change to the way that things are done. So the question is, why isn't all this information regarding the budgets on your website, both at the macro and micro level? The Berkeley County taxpayers are the owners of this information. You are only the guardians and users of these funds. Let's look at the referendum for the new schools voted back in 2012. The Citizens Committee of Hanahan, especially Pat Eckstein, has continually requested information via FOIA requests regarding the funds and where they are being spent. How can we think anything is honest when the information is not forthcoming? Why is there a need for a FOIA request when it's the taxpayers' money? Why is there this back and forth without anything ever getting accomplished? I know and understand that you are working
Mr.
on
Healy.
these things, but working and delivering are two separate things.
Mr. Healy, if you could give us some last comments.
I will give you the last one. Where is the accountability? Why isn't this information up there? I would challenge you to put this information on the website within 30 days. And if you tell me it's not available, you have a much bigger problem not knowing. So let's all work together and get this accomplished, but let us stop and break the bullcrap barrier that's going on. Let's share the information. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Up next, we'll invite Mr. David Royce to voice support of the school board and Josh Whitley. Thank you, Mr. Royce.
Superintendent Blackburn and the members of the board, I came here tonight to voice my support for you and the current attorney, Josh Whitley. I want to thank you first of how you handled the Brantley Thomas situation. You called an emergency meeting and fired him without hesitation. You did not suspend him or place him on leave pending the results of the investigation. You just sacked him, and you also fired the auditing firm that you've been using for decades. So thank you for your swift action. And in terms of this investigation, I appreciate your dedication to being as transparent as legally possible. And I know that with all the investigations and media attention that the school board has gotten in this district in the last year, I know it probably seems that you're taking one step forward and two steps backward when it comes to trying to bring integrity back to the Berkeley County school system. And so I would just encourage you to keep doing what you're doing and know that there are thousands of Berkeley County residents like myself who see what you're doing and support what you're doing. And lastly, I wanted to voice my unwavering support for the school board's attorney, Josh Whitley. For those of you who don't know, he acts as the attorney for the school board and also works on the Berkeley County Council. And for some reason, the fact that he helps the school board and serves on the county council has been a touchy subject to certain people. So I believe that we are Berkeley County. That we are one unit, and the more we work together, the school board, county council, everybody, the more that we work on together, the less we have to divide us. I had the pleasure of attending a public event recently where Mr. Josh Whitley spoke, and he told a very brief story of how and why he got involved in politics. He's a very successful attorney, but he had lost faith in our local government. He didn't believe that Berkeley County was doing the right things, and he knew that if we couldn't get it right in Berkeley County, we're never going to get it right in Washington. And so that quote really stuck with me. And I've heard nothing but praise about him from members of the school board, and from the interactions I've had with him, I believe he's a man of honor and integrity who only wants the best for Berkeley County and its residents. So thank you for all you're doing, and thank you for your time.
Up next, we'll invite Mr. Jim Royce to commend the board on handling of financial issues. Mr. Royce.
Pleasure to be back with you all again.
Welcome back.
I sat on that board in that seat right there for 12 years, and a whole bunch of new faces, except Mr. Wright. I see him over there. He's looking good. Right there. Miss Moore, I don't know. Looks like you put on some weight. Oh gosh, and I sat there and I looked over at Dr. Floyd, and you look a whole lot better than he did. It's a pleasure to have you all here, and I couldn't resist coming up here and speaking with you all tonight because. After what I've seen in the paper over the past few weeks, my heart was broken. And I know that everyone that has worked in the school district and has known Mr. Thomas for years and years have just been shocked. And I too want to commend you all with the speed that you handled the situation, because it was hard. And it was hard for everybody, but this was the best route to go. And I know that that too came from good advice that you received from your attorney. And when I served on the school board and I served with Mr. Hardesty, we didn't have that kind of good advice of down home attorney that knows what's going on in Berkeley County and has been here all of his life. I think that you've made a very good choice with Mr. Whitley. And I know, like Childs and Halligan, that were the attorneys when I served with Mr. Hardesty. They were coming back and forth weekly from Columbia, and if you got to see him, fine. And they came over to the superintendent's office. We never got to see him. Then we get reports about it, and we spent lots and lots of money. And to have somebody here that and you can talk to, you've made a good choice. And I feel confident, and our community feels confident, and I commend you for the job that you've done. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Royce. We saved the best for last. Next, we'll invite up Ms. Pat Eckstein, and she is going to talk about the referendum, equipment, furniture, technology cost, the breakdown of those costs, and accountability.
Good evening, Chairman Wofford, Superintendent Blackburn, members of the board, and I do have to concur with the other speakers. It's been a breath of fresh air since the November election. I know in their hearts that the former board members really did think they were doing what they thought was right, but I thank the voters throughout Berkeley County for going for a change, and the reception from all of you to listening to your constituents all throughout the county is remarkable, and it is very well noticed. The Hanahan Citizens Committee has continued to correspond with the school board and the superintendent concerning the cost for the referendum of $198 million and the $52 million general bond obligation bond for the equipment, furniture, technology for the new schools. And back in September, I did get a letter back from the school district that said year to date, the district has spent $881,540 on referendum projects from multiple funding sources. $100 million has already been bonded, and in early 2017, I guess coming up with the GMP for the Bowens Corner School, Fox Bank School, the Berkeley Education Center will probably be, that's the next obligation bond to go out. I still find it difficult that there is not a breakdown that can say how much each project was originally estimated to cost, if there were overruns, which will happen. They happen. They just happen. There's got to be a computer program. Otherwise, the information that has been provided to us is basically a shell game. We can say, here's the number. No, that's not the number. It's over there. It's really incumbent upon the school board and the administration to break down the information so we know exactly where it was spent. If things went to another project, we're at the end of the money, not the beginning of the money for the last final projects. And we still have Philip Simmons High School under construction. So I would just ask again, please, it is coming from a school district about 3/4 of the size of this one. you can write a computer program to come up with it. When you look at the different reports, it's from one architect, it's from one construction company in one format, it's from another construction company, an architect or engineer on another format. Need to be able to bring it all together. That's all we need for your peace of mind and our peace of mind going forward in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Pat. We'll move on to agenda item 5A, which is the quarterly construction update. Mr. Jackson.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Superintendent Blackburn, and members of the board. At this time, I would like to invite Mr. Gene Sides to the podium to deliver the quarterly construction update for you all.
Madam Chair, Superintendent, members of the board, I'm Gene Sides with Facilities and Capital Projects, and this is your quarterly construction update. Due to the remaining 3 projects that are left, which is Berkeley Ed Center and Philip Simmons High School, Fox Bank Elementary, and Bowen's Corner, this presentation will be somewhat brief. As you can see on the major project schedule, that it's pretty much the same that we've had. Everything's on time, meeting the schedule. Philip Simmons will open in August of 2017 this year. Fox Bank Elementary is still in design. The early site package has started. The SWIP controls have been in place. Bowen's Corner Elementary is just finishing its bidding and will begin construction shortly. At the Berkeley Ed Center, the asbestos abatement has been completed. The additions of the demolition of the rear additions are complete, and the interior demolition is complete, and existing window removal is still in progress. The alternate use facility plan is still in discussion and is still being studied by the design team and the district to determine a course of action. The next slide here is just showing you the extent of the demolition on the rear and the mortar pointing on the brick masonry at the front entries. At Bowen's Corner Elementary, the site clearing is complete. The topsoil is being stripped and stockpiled while the detention ponds are being established. The bidding package was actually received today, and Ms. Queen couldn't be with us this evening, but she has notified me that the contractor has determined that we had significant participation in the bid, so we're vetting the bids right now from the subcontractors, and we hope that the price comes in at a price point that we are very much needing. And from that, we will propose a GMP on the March 14th board meeting. This is Fox Bank Elementary. We are in the detailed design floor plans stage, going into the implementation stage, which is the construction documents. These floor plans here are somewhat schematic. The green signifies classrooms. The blue is administrative areas. The purple is a common area such as the media center and computer rooms. And the brown is another multi-purpose, which is the multi-purpose space, cafeteria, and stage and platform. This is a schematic exterior, computer-generated exterior of the main entry. It's very simple. We just got the OSF detailed design comments. They were very minimal, and we have been given permission to proceed with the construction documents. All the due diligence for the site is complete. In addition to, we are going to be closing on the land contribution this week as well. And we will be having a SWIP pre-con tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock at the site just to review the current path of construction for the early site package for soil remediation. And this is the Philip Simmons High School. Back in January, we had an OSF inspection in areas 1, 2, and 3, which we passed with flying colors. There was only a couple of major deficiencies that we had to address, which were addressed within 24 hours of our inspection. We have scheduled an OSF inspection for areas 4, 5, and 6 back in, to be around April, May, 1st of May, depending on OSF schedule. This is the
These are pictures of the exterior of the academy. This is the street elevation that you will see on the approach of the school from the development. Academy A is in the center picture. Academy A is on the left. Academy B is on the right. And these are different views from different angles, just to let you know that this area was required by the ARB for Fox Bank, not Fox Bank, but for the Canor development as a aesthetic feature. This is the auditorium and the gymnasium, and this is the student entry loop from the student the student entry from the student parking on the bus loop side. This is where the students who drive to school will be entering, which is right adjacent to the gym. And this is the 9th grade academy, which is very similar in design to the major academies on the front. And then we have the major entry parent drop-off, as well as the gym floor. Well, I noticed this week that the gym floor actually was delivered to the site, so the gym floor is going to be going in next week. And not to leave out some of the athletics, we have the bleachers installed, the kitchen tile has been installed, and some of these photos were taken last week, but progress is going so fast. The kitchen actually has equipment installed in it, and the terrazzo is going in the gym area, in the locker room area. And the athletic field houses and the press boxes and the ticket booths have roofs on, metal roofs on. And for your enjoyment, the contractor has provided us with a small video for some more progress. And that's it. Any questions?
Pretty impressive.
Thank you. Also, before I go, I'd like to recognize Todd McElveen and James Hall with Thompson Turner. James is the one who created the video, and I'm impressed that he did most of this with a drone and an iPhone. So, I'm very impressed.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Sides on any of the projects that he reviewed? Very well. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We'll move on now to financial services and Ms. Blackburn.
Thank you, Ms. Wofford. I've asked Jackie Carlin, our Director of Finance, if she would provide our financial services reports this evening. She will make some brief statements about the semi-annual procurement report, which covers July 1, 2016 through December 31, 2016. And as you know, it's a statutory requirement, followed by our quarterly financial report, which is required by your board policy, Policy DI, Accounting and Reporting. So welcome, Jackie.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam Chair, Superintendent Blackburn, and ladies and gentlemen of the board. You have before you the semi-annual procurement reports related to purchases from July 1st to December 31st, 2016. That's an incorrect date up there. You received this information prior to tonight's meeting, and as Ms. Blackburn just stated, this is for informational purposes and is required for the procurement code. If you have any specific questions on any items, please email Ms. Blackburn and we will provide any detail you need. All right. The general fund budget for FY 16-17 was approved for $258 million. And as you see to the bottom right, as of December 31st, 2016, the ideal remaining percentage as we go through these budgets should be around 50%. General fund revenues. As you can see, through December 31st, we've received $91.9 million with 64% left to receive. This fund represents a large portion of the tax revenue coming in from the tax bills. Since January 1st, we've already received about $50 million to cover December and January taxes that have been received. So you'll see that number come up, that remaining number coming up in the next budget report. On general fund expenditures, we've received $108.9 million through December 31st, with 58% left to spend. We are a little over the 50% threshold, but this money will be used to pay employees through the summer months. As of right now, this budget is in line and in a good financial state. Special revenue. This revenue consists of special ed, Title I, and all the special programs from the federal funds and state restricted funds. We've received $9.4 million through December 31st, and we have 73% remaining. And the reason this is because federal grants are approved late in the fiscal year, and so this is the time of year where the revenue streams start to pick up. On the expenditure side, we've spent $10.2 million through December 31st, and we have 67% left to spend. Again, this fund is expended first, and then we receive revenues for it later. We are filing claims now to get reimbursed for expenditures. The budget is in line at this point in the fiscal year. For EIA, this fund is 100% state funding revenue that consists of the 1 cent sales tax increase that began in 1984. We've received $8.5 million through December 31st, and we are to receive 41%. This is the fund where legislature is considering a $37.6 million reduction, but they're also looking at an increase of $47 million for the upcoming school year. And if this passes, we will not receive any new EIA funding for next school year. On the expenditures, we've spent $5.5 million, and we have 64% left to spend. This budget, again, will be used to pay employees through the summer months. And regarding the line where it says transfers payments, the $5.9 million budget, these are general fund transfers to cover teacher salaries and fringe. And you'll see that number going up. As far as the expenditure column, you'll see that going up in the near future. Again, this budget is in line at this point in the fiscal year. On the capital project side, bond proceeds received through December 31st are $155 million, and we have 40% left to receive. Again, it's time to sell bonds and coming this spring 2017, so we can continue this. On the expenditure side, we spent $143.6 million with 44% left to spend. We have $48 million in encumbrances, which includes partial construction contracts on Philip Simmons High, Fox Bank Elementary, Bowens Corner Elementary, Berkeley Education Center, and other capital improvements that we have going on. And then last, food service revenues. We've received $7.3 million, and we have 61% left to receive. This is a largely free and reduced federal revenue, as well as local revenue that's collected from students and teachers for breakfasts and lunches. We've spent $7.5 million through December 31st, and we have 59% left to spend. Again, this budget will be used to pay employees over the summer months, as well as it'll cover the summer feeding program. And this budget is in line and in good financial state at this point. Oh, I'm sorry, I did not mean to. And here again, our fiscal responsibility will be proactive in obtaining and utilizing resources to provide a world-class education for all students. And that concludes that. Any questions?
Thank you for all you've been doing over the last couple of weeks. I know you're working extra hard.
Thank you. Long hours. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Jackie.
We'll now move on to agenda item 7A and give the floor to Ms. Blackburn for the strategic plan and the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Ms. Walford. We're going to start with part 2 of our strategic plan update for you all this evening. Just to recap, last week we did Goal 1, which was school climate, and we did Goal 2, which was student achievement. And tonight, front and center is communications, and our goalkeeper for communications, Goal 3, is Mr. Franchini. The One Berkeley strategic plan is our roadmap. It is the way that we're going to move forward in BCSD. The vision, I think, is very clear and very concise, and it was really the work product of hundreds of people. Empower all students, every student, for success. I think I would be preaching to the choir, so to speak, if I said that communicating is critical to making powerful connections. And we are very much so an organization of people who need to communicate, and so we have lots of avenues for doing that. Sometimes I hear about a parent who says that they don't know how to negotiate our school system. They don't know how to go to where they need to go to get the information or the help that they need for their child. And I'm here to tell you, we are here for you. You can call us, you can tweet us, you can send us a message on Facebook, and all the many other ways that there are of communicating, and you can just show up at the door and we'll talk to you. So I want you to remember that if you hear someone say that they're having difficulty negotiating finding assistance for their child, or negotiating finding a pathway for their student at one of our schools, please remember, we are here for you. And I also answer emails, I answer phone calls, and I talk to people all the time, as do most of the people sitting across the front in front of me. And as I know, the people sitting to my right and left do also, because they call me and Tonight, we're going to talk about some of our communication strategies, and with that, I'll turn it over to Archie as he's our goalkeeper.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Ms. Blackburn, members of the board. This goal is not just the goal of the Office of Communications and Community Engagement. Everybody connected to our school district is responsible for this goal. And we all have the responsibility, as Ms. Blackburn just said, to be good communicators and ambassadors for the Berkeley County School District. I want to show you a short video that will give you an idea of what some of our district and school administrators and parents have to say about communication in the school district. We will partner with stakeholders to build advocacy for our students, families, schools, and district to promote transparency and provide accurate information. Develop and implement a strategic communication plan that will guide all communication efforts. Communicate information regularly about new construction, renovations, capital projects, and the development of a 10-year building plan. Partner with stakeholders to support student success. Provide timely and accurate information using a broad range of communication methods to support awareness and advocacy for the Berkeley County School District. Engage the community consistently and regularly by sharing information about district successes, opportunities, recognitions, and events. Support and inform parents and guardians about district and community resources. My expectation is that we communicate regularly, particularly in our schools, with our parents, our community leaders, our business and industry, so that we build a strong base of support for our schools and for the great school district that we have.
I'm very invested in making Berkeley County School System a place where our children thrive and that people are proud to say we're part of Berkeley County Schools. There are no secrets. This is a transparent organization, and we are ready to both hear, to listen, and to talk about Berkeley County Schools.
If you have a question about something at your child's school, call the school. If you have a concern or something to share, I think if you reach out to all of my peers and colleagues throughout Berkeley County, would be willing to hear your feedback, to take your questions and talk to you.
There are lots of forms of communication out there that I don't use, but somebody uses, and it's important to them, and it's constantly changing. So we have to make sure that we're on every platform that's possible for us to communicate with the parent that just uses a telephone, to everyone that uses Facebook, Twitter, or whatever else that they're wanting to use.
I love the different modes of communication, whether they're using Remind 101 or whether it's, my favorite is Parent Portal. So that they can't hide from that. I want to hear it all. I want to hear all communications coming from the school, whether it's impacting my daughter here personally or whether it's impacting another classmate or another grade level. I think it's important for parents to be engaged on all levels of communications with students at the school.
I'm a minimalist. My expectations are very limited in what I expect from a school district and from the individual school and from the faculty and administrators within that school. The principal, the people in the front office, they all know your name. They all know my wife's name. That's something that's really valuable to have. External communication is important, but personal one-on-one communication, that's something that's equally important to me, and that's something that I get at this school.
I don't have any expectations of, I need to know something every week or every month. I would expect them to communicate with parents like anytime there is an issue. I do like the communication process we have going on right now. It's a lot better than when I was in school.
In my experience as a parent at this particular school, the communication I would describe as excellent. We have access to teachers through personal access, through social media, through email. We can call, leave messages. I have the cell phone number of the principal, and so we get great response from the staff here.
I personally choose to give my cell phone because I don't want a parent having a sleepless night based on something Johnny or Sally or Billy shared when they got home from school. I know people think that it is an unusual practice, but I will tell you the parents here have never abused it.
I think picking the phone up and talking to somebody is an excellent form of communication. In a lot of ways, we've lost that art of conversation. I can get the feeling tone that someone is having when I have a conversation with them. I know that if I satisfied them or given them an answer that will work for them, without back and forth through an email or through a tweet or something else, have been able to calm them down sometimes with a conversation and I can really understand where they're coming from.
I think Berkeley County as a whole, our strength is we still value the importance of personal dialogue and personal communication. So if you have a question, comment, or concern, reach out to your school, reach out to the correct person in the district office and have the conversation with us and engage in the dialogue.
To have well-informed parents, students, employees, and a community at large is critical to the success of our school district. Without the support of our stakeholders, we will not be able to meet the growing needs of the Berkeley County School District. In the video, you heard about the importance of good, clear communication. You heard from the perspective of district and school level administrators, as well as some of our parents. I'm going to highlight a few of the ways that we have engaged with parents, students, employees, and members of the community to have open and honest communication and to build trust and support for what we do. We use various platforms that were already mentioned. Facebook. For the month of February alone, we have reached 62,000 people and currently have 8,720 likes. Twitter. Our followers have increased by 60% since the summer. Website has been updated and is now more user-friendly. At the click of a button, it is translated into 11 different languages. And we've had 1.2 million visits to the website since July the 1st. Blackboard Connect messages, 90 messages have been sent from the Office of Communications this year, and many more sent by individual schools. Opportunities for community engagement and two-way communication. We've recently established the District Ambassadors Academy. This past Thursday, we had 24 participants come to the Philip Simmons schools. And we had many people say great things about what they heard that evening when we talked a little bit about the school district, about finance, and about human resources. Our next one will be at Cross Elementary School on March 23rd, where we focus on the growth of the district and our building program. We've hosted meetings with area realtors, local clergy, and the legislative delegation. We will host Leadership Berkeley for a day on March the 16th, where they will get to visit our schools and also listen to our students about their experiences in our apprenticeship program and also our career academies. Moving Berkeley forward, last fall we held 8 forums in all areas of the county. We sponsored the One Berkeley golf tournament last summer, and we'll do another one this summer, where we raised over $12,000 to help support the One Berkeley Festival, Goes Back to School Festival, where we gave out over 3,000 book bags to needy students in our community. We also had the support of our business and industry for the One Berkeley Goes Back to School Festival, where they contributed $55,000 to the success of the program. We are active members on the boards of the Berkeley Chamber of Commerce, the Charleston Metro Chamber of Commerce, including the Executive Committee, Trident United Way, and the Trident Regional Educational Center. We actively participate on Tri-County Cradle to Career committees, and the academies of Berkeley and our high schools have over 79 businesses that partner with them to help design curriculum, co-teach, provide internships for students, and externships for teachers. We have a number of special recognitions that we do, and just a few of them that either we lead in the Office of Communications or that we help support. Turnaround Achievement Awards, Breakfast of Champions, Legacy Builders, Legacy Legends, many academic awards programs, athletic awards programs, fine arts awards programs, as well as our Rookie Teacher of the Year and our Teacher of the Year. These are just a few of the ways that we actively engage with our community and promote the great things that are happening in our school district. Moving forward, we will be working on developing a district communications plan, as well as compiling and publishing the annual report to the community. We also plan to utilize the digital media more in telling the Berkeley County School District story. I'd like to take a minute to recognize the members of the Office of Communications and Community Engagement, if they would please stand. You have any questions?
I have a couple of comments. There may be some questions, but I'm reminded when I watch this video of the exit report from the Advanced Ed Review back in November of 2015. And what they said is the greatest fear of our employees and our public is that with the growth that we're experiencing, that we will lose that low country caring that is very prevalent in Berkeley County schools. And I think what we saw tonight with Hal Hall Ames and the short interviews with Chris Swetke and some of his parents and stakeholders there shows very vividly that spirit, low country or otherwise, about caring for each other and caring for our children is very much alive and well in Berkeley County schools. And although we only visited one school tonight, there are 44, there was no way I could bring you a little snapshot of all of them. We picked one because we think that there's a standard for communication in Berkeley County school districts. And what you saw at Hal Hall Ames is the expectation that we have for each and every one of our schools to be powerful communicators. And communication is a two-way thing. You got to probably do twice as much listening as you do talking to really know what's going on with the folks that you serve in each and every one of our schools. So I'm excited about the changes that we've made in communication. I know we have room to grow, and we will continue to work on getting better and better. And occasionally we'll stumble and we'll fall. But guess what? We always get up because we are very, very committed to doing a powerful job in this community and creating that vision so that every single one of our students leaves us prepared to be successful. Questions or comments that you all may have?
I have a comment, Mr. Franchini. Communication is a part of the transparency that the board is trying to achieve and maintain its integrity. So let me commend you that what you are doing is helping the entire district. So God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
I wanted to add, I really like the Berkeley County app that I have on my phone.
And I did not mention that, but thank you.
So I just wanted to point that out too, because I enjoy that. It helps me maneuver through the calendar, the menus, and everything. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And next time, we'll be doing human resources, and we'll be talking a little bit about how we're going to continue to recruit, attract, and retain the very highest quality educators that we can for the children of Berkeley County. So that'll be section number 4. So we're on the countdown. Archie mentioned that our first district ambassadors was this past Thursday, and it was very, very successful. And we wanted you all to have something that they have. So we left you a portfolio at your desk that has our new logo on it, and hope that you will enjoy it and give you something to take some notes in. And we would love for you all to come out and visit with one of the district ambassadors' evenings. The next one, I believe, is March 23rd at Cross Elementary. So please come and join us. It's starting at 6 o'clock. Yeah. So we wanted you all to have takeaways tonight, so we put another one by your desk. And last time we showed you a little video of our Stratford culinary students doing some sugar cookie decorating, and reminded you that it was CTE month. And so now we've given you a Wear Every Day bracelet for you to wear because it says, I am CTE. And so we want you to help us celebrate the great career and technical educators that we have in Berkeley County schools, and they are top-notch. Teacher Forum, we've got several people from Teacher Forum here, and I'd like to recognize them this evening. We've got our two of our leaders from Teacher Forum. We've got Amanda Cromer, and we have Sharon Blackwood with us. And they are joined by Erica Calder from Whitesville Elementary, Amy Jolly from Westview Primary, Diana Woolwishin, College Park Elementary. I know I murdered that name, but we love you, okay? We just don't know how to say your name, or I don't. Berkeley Intermediate, Heather Hennessy. And so if you all would stand and let us recognize you, we appreciate you so much. So so all of these folks have been Teachers of the Year for their schools, some of them multiple times. And today we announced our 2017 Teachers of the Year. And so we've got a brand new group coming forward, and there's a press release out there that lists each one for each and every school. And we're going to spend some time over the next few months celebrating them. And from that rank, we will have a new Berkeley County Teacher of the Year as well. So thank you for coming out and supporting this event, and for all the great things you do for the children in our schools. We appreciate you. I have a few other little things I need to say this evening, because I'm very focused on trying to pay attention to what students do, and also to the fact that they're what bring the joy to my life, and they're really why I do what I do. And I just went to School Boards Association, and several of our board members were with us, and we had an opportunity to hear some powerful speakers, and there were two that I want to just at least mention to you. One of them is a gentleman who's done everything. He's been a jailer, an accountant, a timberer, I guess you call that, a logger, maybe that would be the better word for it. He has been a construction worker, a janitor, an actor, a musician, a small business owner, a choir director, an assistant principal, and a principal at a middle school, and that was his favorite job. And he gave a presentation just about kids and about the students that we see in front of us each and every day as we walk into a classroom or into a school. And it reconnected me with why I do what I do. It's not about the paperwork. It's not about the policies. It's not about the legal issues that we face. It really and truly is about helping young people be successful. I had a chance. Somebody gave me a chance. I'm a product of public education, and I'm very, very committed to continuing that tradition of great public schools for our students. And so that reconnected me. And then this young lady, who is a student, a fifth grader at Marrington Elementary, and her name is Abigail Morton, sent me a poster this week and made my whole week. And she actually won Southeastern Wildlife Exposition 2017 Kids for Conservation winner. Abigail Morton, Marrington Elementary, grade 5. So if you don't think we have talent, whoops, take a look at this. I love seeing our Boy Scouts with us tonight. Thank you all so much for coming. Let's give them another round of applause. We also had another great spelling bee winner last Thursday evening at Berkeley High School. There was a great competition among spellers from all across the Berkeley County School District, and the winner was McKenna Lloyd, a fourth grader from Nexton Elementary. But there were a lot of great spellers on the stage, and they had a great time to a standing room only crowd. Lady Gators. How about those Lady Gators from Goose Creek High School? They are going to be playing in the finals for State 5A Championship, and it's Friday evening. And it's going to be at the Colonial Life Center in Columbia starting at 7 o'clock. They're not here with us, but let's just, give them a round of applause. Maybe it'll help them win. Let's see. Forgot to tell you about the second person that I saw at the South Carolina School Board's conference, because that person is somebody who's visited our school district, actually, and her name is Gina Bassford. And Gina has done an amazing job improving graduation rate in a neighboring county, Aiken, and I'll give them credit. And Gina actually came and spent a little time with us over the first part of the winter break and shared with us some trade secrets to help us work on improving our graduation rate. And I got to hear Gina and her superintendent and one of their principals at the School Boards Association. And I also borrowed a few great ideas that we're going to put in place and help us continue to work on making every single child that comes to Berkeley County Schools a graduate. We can do it. And so I'm committed to 100%. So, now that I've had my child fix here, I'll turn it back over to you, Ms. Wofford. Thank you so much.
Thank you. There is no board chair report other than I'm very thankful to be back. I got a couple cards, some text, and some beautiful flowers, so thank you. I am not back to work yet. I'm still moving very slow and not running anywhere, but thankfully I just have to sit while I'm doing this, so there's nothing, no running necessary. So thank you all for the kindness, and thank you, Mr. McQuillan, for running an excellent meeting. I watched the video. You were very good. We are going to move on to agenda item 9. Executive session. We'll entertain a motion to enter executive session. The purpose of executive session is to receive legal advice concerning the investigative proceedings regarding an allegation of criminal misconduct, forensic audit, discussion of pending employment matters, and I forgot the number. I'm so sorry. 4 student expulsion appeals. Is there a motion?
I make the motion. Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Ramsey, a second by Mr. McQuillan. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of entering into executive session for the reasons stated, please respond by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. We're in executive session.
We didn't have that.
I will now entertain a motion to return to general session.
Madam Chair, I move that we enter into regular session.
Second. Sorry.
There's a motion by Ms. Lee, a second by Reverend Spann. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of returning to regular session, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, nay. Now we'll call for any action items as required from executive session.
Madam Chairwoman, I move that in an effort to maintain transparency and to gain the public trust in the integrity of the Berkeley County School District financial situation, I move to authorize our legal counsel, Smith Whitley LLC, to engage the auditing firm of Cherry Beckert to conduct an immediate internal investigatory audit to forensically examine the Berkeley County School District. The board authorizes Chairman Walford and General Counsel Whitley to engage the firm on reasonable and customary terms and expects the accounting firm to report back through counsel on a regular and continuing basis.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. McQuillan, a second by Reverend Spann. We've discussed this at length in executive session, so I'll call the question. All those in favor of engaging Cherry Bearcart for legal counsel?
So I have a question.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We made mention of you and Josh, but what about Ms. Blackburn? She should be a part of that team of...
So my signature will go on that document to engage it,
Okay.
but the contact in
Okay.
the document is with Ms. Blackburn and her staff.
All right, sounds good.
All right, so, hey, I don't have a copy of the motion. So the motion is to authorize our legal counsel, Smith Whitley LLC, to engage the auditing firm Cherry Bearcart to conduct an immediate internal investigatory audit to forensically examine the Berkeley County School District. The board authorizes the chairman and general counsel, Josh Whitley, to engage the firm on reasonable and customary terms and expects the accounting firm to report back through counsel on a continuing basis. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. We'll now move on to student expulsion appeals.
Madam Chairwoman, in the matter of student number 1, I move that we uphold the expulsion
So we deny the appeal.
and deny the appeal.
A second. There's a motion by Mr. McQuillan, a second by Walford, to deny the appeal and uphold the expulsion of student number 1. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, nay.
Nay.
7-1. The motion passes. Now we'll entertain a motion for student number 2.
Madam Chair, in the matter of student number 2, I recommend that we allow the student to attend the alternative school.
Second.
There's a motion by Ms. Lee, a second by Mr. McQuillan, to assign student number 2 to the alternative school. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. 8-0, the motion passes. We'll now hear a motion in regards to student number 3.
Madam Chairwoman, in the matter of student number 3, I move that we grant the expulsion appeal and allow this child to return to their home school under strict probation.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. McQuillan, a second by Mr. Wright, to send student number 3 back to their home school on strict probation. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. 8-0, the motion passes. Now for our final student, student number 4.
Madam Chair, I move that we allow student number 4 to attend the alternative school.
Second.
There's a motion by Ms. Lee, a second by Mr. Wright, to assign student number 4 to the alternative school. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. 8-0, the motion passes. We will now entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. McQuillan, a second by Mr. Ramsey. Is there any discussion? All in favor of adjournment, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. We are adjourned.